Have you heard about this NursePreneur Nation? It's got me wondering if we're about to see like a whole wave of nurses trading in their scrubs for business suits.
Yeah.
We're diving into their website today.
Okay.
It's packed with some pretty bold claims.
Yeah, it is fascinating.
Right.
They're suggesting that nurses can transform from feeling burned out
Hmm.
to running a successful business in just 1 year.
A year.
Yeah.
That timeline seems
Ambitious.
ambitious,
Yeah.
to say the least.
So what's the strategy they're proposing? I'm curious how they even think that's possible.
NursePreneur Nation is positioning itself as an online community,
Okay.
offering nurses the resources and connections they need to launch and scale their own businesses.
So it's not just about like providing information.
It's about creating a network
Mm-hmm.
of support for nurses venturing into entrepreneurship.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But why is this gaining traction now?
Right.
What's going on in the healthcare world that's pushing nurses towards entrepreneurship? Well, their latest article is from February 27th, 2025.
Okay.
So they're definitely tapping into some current trends.
Mm-hmm.
We know nurse burnout is a major issue,
Yeah.
often linked to feeling overworked and undervalued.
Right.
So perhaps this movement is a reaction to that,
Okay.
offering a path to more autonomy
Mm-hmm.
and potentially a better income.
So instead of leaving nursing altogether,
Right.
they're finding ways to leverage their expertise
Yeah,
in a different way.
exactly.
It's like they're saying, we're not just going to complain about the system, we're going to create something better.
Yeah.
But what specifically does NursePreneur Nation offer
Sure.
to help them do that?
They highlight a few key things.
Okay.
First, they focus on turning a nurse's existing passions
Okay.
into profitable ventures.
Got it.
Then they provide access to resources like webinars,
Mm-hmm.
guides, and courses designed to teach the business skills nurses might not have learned in their traditional training.
Right? Because being a great nurse doesn't automatically make you a great business owner.
Right.
There's a whole other skill set involved.
Exactly.
But what about the emotional and logistical challenges of starting a business?
Yeah,
That can be overwhelming for anyone,
Yeah.
even experienced entrepreneurs.
absolutely. That's where their coaching and mastermind groups come in.
Okay.
They offer more personalized support to help nurses navigate the emotional and practical hurdles of entrepreneurship.
Okay.
This could be especially valuable for someone transitioning from a structured hospital environment
Mm-hmm.
to the often unpredictable world of running a business.
It sounds like they're really trying to address those common anxieties head on,
Yeah,
which is smart.
for sure.
But do they have any proof that this actually works?
They do feature client testimonials on their website.
Okay.
One that stands out is Amanda J., a registered nurse who went through their program and is now running a successful business.
Okay, tell me more about Amanda's story.
Sure.
What kind of business did she start? What were her biggest challenges?
Amanda's story is particularly compelling because she went from feeling burned out and financially strapped
Wow.
to owning her own business, earning more money, and feeling much more fulfilled.
So she really turned things around.
Yeah, her experience really speaks to the potential for transformation that NursePreneur Nation is promoting.
It's definitely inspiring,
Yeah,
but I also want to make sure we're looking at this with a critical eye.
right.
Is there a membership fee to join this community?
Yes, there is.
What kind of financial investment are we talking about?
It's $39.99 per month
Okay.
or $399.99 for the year.
Okay.
The annual membership gives you 2 months free.
Got it.
And they also offer a free trial period so you can test it out before committing.
So there's a financial barrier to entry,
Yeah.
which is something to consider.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense that they would charge for their services,
Right?
but it's important for nurses to weigh the costs
For sure.
against their goals and budget.
Absolutely.
But let's step back for a second. Beyond the specifics of their offerings,
Mm-hmm.
what's the overarching mission of NursePreneur Nation?
Well,
What are they ultimately trying to achieve?
their stated mission is to inspire, educate, and support nurses on their entrepreneurial journey.
Okay.
It's about empowering nurses to take control of their careers and create something of their own.
That's a powerful message, especially considering the challenges nurses are facing within the traditional healthcare system.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying you don't have to be stuck.
Right.
You have options. You can
Mhm.
create your own destiny.
Yeah.
But what does this actually look like in practice? What
Right.
kinds of businesses are these nurses creating?
That's a great question, and it's one we'll explore further in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll delve into the specific types of businesses nurses are starting and how they're utilizing their skills in innovative ways.
All right, now I'm really intrigued. Stay
Mhm.
tuned because we're about to get into the nitty-gritty of how nurses are tuning their expertise into successful businesses.
It should be interesting.
We left off wondering what kind of businesses these nursepreneurs are actually creating.
Right.
It's one thing to say nurses are becoming entrepreneurs, but what does that actually look like day to day?
Well, it's true that the NursePreneur Nation website
Hmm.
doesn't get into a ton of specifics about individual business types,
Okay.
but we can glean some insights from Amanda J's story
Right.
and their marketing materials.
Okay.
They talk a lot about monetizing your nursing knowledge and skills,
Okay.
which is a good place to start.
So how are nurses taking their experience and turning it into a business? Give me some examples of what that could actually look like.
Think about what nurses excel at.
Yeah.
They're experts in patient care, health education, and managing complex situations.
Mm-hmm.
Many nurses have a natural ability to explain things clearly
Yeah.
and break down complicated topics.
Right.
And they're used to dealing with all kinds of personalities,
Yeah.
which is definitely an asset in the business world.
Right, for sure. Okay, I can see how those skills would be valuable in all sorts of fields, not just healthcare.
Exactly.
So how are they applying them to create businesses?
Well, a natural fit for many nurses would be healthcare consulting.
Okay.
They could offer their expertise to hospitals, clinics, or even businesses looking to improve their health and wellness programs.
So, like, what would that look like?
For example, a nurse specializing in geriatric care could consult with senior living facilities
Okay.
to help them implement better safety protocols.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
It highlights how nurses can niche down and leverage their specialized knowledge.
Right.
What other paths are nurses taking?
We're also seeing a rise in nurse educators creating online courses and workshops.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they might teach other nurses specialized skills
Okay.
or provide patient education on various health conditions.
Mm.
This allows them to reach a wider audience and share their expertise in a scalable way.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It taps into the growing demand for online learning and allows nurses to leverage their teaching skills.
Exactly.
What about the more personal side of healthcare?
Mhm.
Is there a space for nursepreneurs there?
Absolutely. Nurse coaching is becoming increasingly popular.
Oh, okay.
Nurses can guide individuals on their health journeys, offering personalized support and advice.
So, like, how so?
This could involve helping people manage chronic conditions, navigate lifestyle changes,
Right.
or simply advocate for themselves within the healthcare system.
That's such an important role, especially with healthcare becoming so complex
Right.
and often confusing for patients.
Yeah,
It's like they're bridging the gap between the medical world
Mhm.
and the individual's lived experience.
for sure.
We touched on side hustles earlier.
Yeah.
What did NursePreneur Nation have to say about that?
They have an article called 5 Simple Side Hustles for Nurses, also from February 27th.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we don't have the full article, but the title suggests they're providing concrete ways for nurses to generate extra income without necessarily quitting their day jobs.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Not everyone is ready to go full-time entrepreneur.
exactly.
So what kind of side hustles might they be recommending?
Well, it could be anything from freelance writing for medical publications to offering telehealth services on the side. Some nurses might even pursue additional certifications,
Okay.
like becoming a lactation consultant,
Oh, interesting.
to offer specialized services in their free time.
These are great examples. It seems like the entrepreneurial landscape for nurses is incredibly diverse.
Yeah.
It allows them to tailor their ventures to their passions and expertise.
Mm-hmm.
It's so refreshing to see nurses not just working within the system,
Yeah,
but creating their own opportunities.
I agree.
It's a fascinating evolution of the nursing profession, wouldn't you say?
I would.
It speaks to a desire for more autonomy and flexibility.
Yeah.
And for some nurses, it might even be a way to find greater meaning and purpose in their work.
For sure.
I agree. But let's not sugarcoat things.
Okay.
What are some of the challenges or downsides that someone considering this path should be aware of?
That's an important question.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship, no matter what field you're in, comes with inherent risks. One challenge for nurses specifically
Okay.
might be the lack of formal business training.
Right.
They might be amazing clinicians,
Yeah.
but they haven't necessarily learned about marketing, accounting, or legal matters.
Right. It's a whole different world.
It is.
And those are essential skills for running a successful business.
Yeah. for sure.
Does NursePreneur Nation address this?
They seem to acknowledge this gap and aim to fill it through their resources and mentorship programs.
Okay.
Another challenge could be the emotional roller coaster of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
That's for sure. It takes resilience, self-motivation, and a high tolerance for uncertainty.
Right.
And it probably requires a different type of time management
Yeah.
than working a hospital shift.
You're right. Building a business, especially in the beginning, often requires a significant time investment.
Yeah.
It might mean working evenings and weekends,
Okay.
juggling family responsibilities,
Yeah.
and potentially sacrificing personal time in the short term.
So it's not a quick fix for work-life balance, at least initially.
Exactly. It's more about creating a lifestyle that aligns with your values and priorities. It's about designing a life where your work energizes you rather than drains you.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So for our listener who might be thinking, this sounds amazing, but is it right for me? What are some key things to consider before taking the leap?
I think the first step is to honestly assess your motivations.
Okay.
Why do you want to become a nursepreneur?
Yeah.
What are you hoping to gain?
Right?
Is it financial freedom, greater flexibility,
Okay.
more control over your work, or a desire to make a bigger impact?
Knowing your why is so important.
It is.
It'll help you stay focused and motivated through the inevitable ups and downs of entrepreneurship.
Definitely next. I'd suggest taking a realistic look at your skills and resources.
Okay.
Do you have a strong support system? Are you comfortable with taking risks?
Okay.
Do you have the time and financial resources to invest in building a business?
Those are practical considerations that can make or break a new venture.
They are.
It's exciting to dream big, but you also need to be grounded in reality.
For sure. And finally, don't underestimate the value of guidance and mentorship.
Okay.
Connect with other nursepreneurs, join communities like NursePreneur Nation, or talk to someone who's already made the transition.
Right.
Their insights can be invaluable.
It's all about leveraging the power of community and learning from those who've been there.
Exactly.
We've talked about the potential, the challenges and the things to consider,
Right.
but I'm curious about the bigger picture.
Okay.
What's the potential impact of this nursepreneur movement on the healthcare landscape?
Now, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because if this trend continues to grow, it could have significant implications for the future of nursing and healthcare as a whole.
Okay, let's talk big picture impact.
All right.
Where does this nursepreneur movement fit into the future of healthcare? Paint me a picture.
Imagine nurses not just working within the existing system, but actively shaping healthcare from the outside.
Okay.
They're creating businesses that address gaps in care,
Yeah.
develop innovative solutions, and advocate for patients in entirely new ways.
It's almost like they're becoming a new breed of healthcare disruptors,
Yeah.
leveraging their knowledge and experience
Right.
to push for much needed change.
I like it. And as more nurses embrace entrepreneurship, we could see a real shift in power dynamics within the healthcare industry.
Oh, interesting.
Nurses, with their firsthand understanding of patient needs,
Yeah.
would have a stronger platform to influence healthcare policies and practices.
That's a fascinating point.
Yeah.
It's like they're moving from being care providers to care influencers,
Right.
shaping the direction of healthcare from multiple angles.
Exactly.
What kind of impact could this have on the issues we discussed earlier, like nurse burnout?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
If nurses have more control over their work environment and feel more valued for their contributions,
Okay.
it could lead to a decrease in burnout.
Makes sense.
And when nurses are happier and more fulfilled, it ultimately benefits the patients as well.
It's a win-win.
Right.
And what about the economic implications?
Yeah.
We talked about individual nurses generating income,
Yeah.
but could this have a broader impact on the economy?
Absolutely. Nursepreneurs are creating jobs,
Okay.
not just for themselves, but for others. They're contributing to the economy in a meaningful way.
Right.
And they're potentially driving innovation in healthcare technology and services.
Okay.
We could see a wave of new companies and solutions emerging from this movement.
It's like a ripple effect, starting with individual nurses
Yeah.
and spreading outward to impact the entire healthcare ecosystem.
Exactly.
This brings us back to the mission of NursePreneur Nation.
Right.
They're not just helping individual nurses succeed.
Right.
They're potentially fueling a movement that could transform healthcare for the better.
I think that's a key takeaway from our deep dive.
Yeah.
It's not just about nurses making more money or having more freedom.
Right.
It's about leveraging their skills and expertise to create a more patient-centered, equitable, an innovative healthcare system.
It's about empowering nurses to be the change makers they're capable of being.
Exactly.
It's almost like NursePreneur Nation is less of a company and more of a philosophy,
Yeah.
a call to action for nurses to step up and shape the future of their profession.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it's about taking ownership and creating opportunities, not just waiting for them to appear.
I agree.
So for our listener who's been with us on this journey,
Mm-hmm.
what's the message we want to leave them with?
If you're a nurse feeling burned out, undervalued, or simply yearning for more, know that you have options.
Mm-hmm.
You have the skills, knowledge, and compassion to make a real difference.
Yeah.
You don't have to be confined to the traditional healthcare setting.
It sounds like there's a whole world of possibilities out there.
There is.
The Nursepreneur path might not be for everyone, but it's certainly worth exploring.
It is.
It's inspiring to see nurses creating their own paths and building something meaningful.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the next Amanda J, sharing your success story and inspiring others to take the leap.
I love it.
Yeah.
If you had the support and resources of a community like Nursepreneur Nation, what kind of business could you create? What impact could you have on the world? It's clear that the future of nursing is evolving right before our eyes, and it's